The New York Jets are letting go of old ass Aaron Rodgers, and it's about damn time. M-E-S-S, mess. That is exactly what it was in New York with Aaron Rodgers up there with the Jets. It was a complete mess. It was a disaster. It's like trying to mix peanut butter and hot sauce. That's not a good mix. It was horrible. It wasn't peanut butter and jelly. It wasn't chicken and hot sauce. It wasn't water with watermelon. It wasn't none of that. Because it was a complete disaster up there in New York. First of all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a comment in the comment section. Is this a good move for the Jets to let go of Aaron Rodgers, or the after? Me personally, I think this is an excellent move for the Jets, because what the Jets wanted, they wanted an MVP Aaron Rodgers. They wanted a multiple-time MVP Aaron Rodgers. They wanted an Aaron Rodgers when he took the Green Bay Packers to the NFC Championship game a few times. That Aaron Rodgers that took a Packers to the Super Bowl and actually won it. They were expecting an elite quarterback. They wanted the old Aaron Rodgers. Instead, they just got an old Aaron Rodgers. He played old. He looks old. And he could have stayed with the Jets. The Jets, if I'm being honest, the Jets wanted to let him go anyway. But they was like, you know what? We wouldn't mind bringing you back, but we're going to give you some ultimatums. So we want you to stay your old ass Pat McAfee show. Because all you do is run your yap, you run your mouth, you blah, 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 all off season, all during the regular season. You blame deflect people. You don't never take accountability. And the Jets was like, they got a new head coach, Aaron Glenn, a guy who they drafted, but what, about 20 years ago? And he was in the front office at some point. Now, he's a head coach of the New York Jets. They got a new GM. They got new management. So when new management and a new head coach, typically what happens is they want their own quarterback. They want their own guys. Look at the Houston Texans. DeMeco Ryan, CJ Stroud, new management. That's basically how that works. So the New York Jets is like, because right now they have a top 10 pick in the draft. I believe they have the 9th pick in the draft. And they do need a quarterback. The Aaron Rodgers last year, the Jets won six games, right? For a minute, I thought I was watching Zach Wilson out there, because that's exactly what it was looking like. It was looking bad. He blamed the flex. He got Mike Williams up out of the Jets. They traded him to the Steelers. Somehow he was looking at the red line. He shouldn't even ran this way. He should have ran that way. How about bottom line is your old play better. Let's try that. I seen games where you was looking flat. You looked at lifeless, and the team sees that. And I can just go even further back. Minicamp, where was he at? OTAs. Where was he at? He was there in training camp, but not really. You can tell he wasn't really into it. And if you see footage of him and Garrett Wilson, who is low-key a number 1 wide receiver on the Jets, and I think now that Aaron Rodgers is gone, the Jets are going to keep him, but they're also going to let go of Devontae Adams. This is another story for another day. But they wasn't not communicating well on the sideline in training camp, and you've seen it. And you see the play transition on the field. They was not playing well. They even went to the point, they even traded for Devontae Adams, a guy who I believe is still a top 5 receiver in this league. It didn't even work then. You got a top 5 wideout. You gave Aaron Rodgers everything he wanted. You got a Randall Cobb, Alan Lazard, Devontae Adams, his offensive coordinator. You gave him everything he wanted, and it still didn't work. Robert Saleh, who I believe is an excellent head coach. Look at the quarterbacks he had. Zach Wilson. We all know how much of a bust that is. Aaron Rodgers, we thought was going to get an elite quarterback. Like I said, we thought he was going to get the old Aaron Rodgers. Instead, he just got Aaron Rodgers. That's all he got. Yeah, his passing yards was decent. He had 11 interceptions this past year, which isn't Aaron Rodgers like. His touchdowns was decent, but it wasn't the old Aaron Rodgers. It wasn't the Aaron Rodgers who would give you 36 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. It wasn't the Aaron Rodgers who's going to give you 32 touchdowns and probably 3 interceptions. His completion percentage is going to be high. His QBR is going to be high. That was not him. And you can tell the Jets were suffering from it. The defense has been the one that held this team down over the past few years. You're bringing in another defensive-minded coach in Aaron Glenn to this team, who I love, by the way. And you still got great defensive pieces on there. You got Sauce Gardner that's starting out. That's the best defensive player on that defense. And you got just other guys around there that will fit perfectly in the Aaron Glenn system. But the problem has been the offense to hold this team back. And they've tried time after time after time, quarterback after quarterback after quarterback, and it just has not worked out. So either they're going to go into the free agent market. I'm pretty sure they're not going to bring back Sam Darnold. They're probably going to go into the draft. Only 2 quarterbacks I know that's worth drafting is Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward. Those 2 guys are going to go within the first 3 picks. Mark my words on that. So now where did it just go from here? Are you just going to sign a regular guy? You're damn sure not going to let Tyrod Taylor be the leading quarterback going into next year. So most likely it's going to be a quarterback competition going on up in New York. And as far as Aaron Rodgers say, now that the Jets are telling you pack your and get up out of New York because we don't want you here no more, now where's he going to go? I keep hearing about Pittsburgh Steelers. That's a destination. I keep hearing the Minnesota Vikings. That's a destination. There's a few teams Aaron Rodgers can go to, and that team does need a quarterback. But you have to ask yourself, do you want to put up with the drama that Aaron Rodgers is going to do? Because Aaron Rodgers, there's some guys on that Jets team that said he was an excellent teammate. But then there was also guys who they're going to name nameless. They say he was a good dude. Not really much of a good teammate. Wasn't there really needed him. Wasn't really the leader that they needed, because the Jets need a leader. And I like this move by the New York Jets. They do need a breath of fresh air now. Now, yet again, let's bring in another young quarterback. Let's see if he's the future. Let's see if he can hold down the fort. I remember the Chad Penningtons. That didn't work out. The Sam Darnolds. That didn't work out. You brought an old Aaron Rodgers. That didn't work out. I mean, the New York Jets have tried so many other things to try to make the quarterback position work, and they just can't. Even Mark Sanchez, they looked at as the future and as the answer. And they started off pretty good. They went to back-to-back AFC Championship game appearances. Lost both of them, but at least you win. After that, took a nosedive. Rex Ryan, who was supposed to be the coach of the future, that was his first head coaching job, and it was looking great early on. After that, went down the drain. So the New York Jets really have not been a champion since Joe Namath. And I believe, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't that in the 60s or 70s? I believe it was in the 70s. Damn it, we're in 2025 now. They're up there as far as one of the worst ran franchises in all the sports. In this New York, you got a team across the street in the New York Giants who have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 Super Bowls. Meanwhile, you're sitting on your one that Joe Namath got you back in the 70s. It's time to wake up. It's time for some changes. They have the right coach in Aaron Glenn, who is a player's coach, and I believe what players will love to play for, just like they love to play for Robert Saleh. And hopefully it's not going to be no mess like it was last year when you had the defense versus the offense. That's basically what it was. There was defensive guys on the Jets team that did not like that Robert Saleh got fired. And if you go back and look at the stats, once Robert Saleh got fired, the Jets defense took a nosedive. It did not play the same. Running game, run defense, pass rush, they didn't look the same at all, because the leader, their head coach, the guy that they believed in, was gone, because Robert Saleh wanted to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, offensive coordinator, and Aaron Rodgers was like, hell no, we're not going with it. And so basically somebody had to get fired, and Robert Saleh took the fall for it. Like I said, he's had in that play his whole coaching tenure with the New York Jets, so he didn't really get a fair shot. But Aaron Rodgers, you got your fair shot. You got everybody you wanted, and it still didn't work out. So at this point, either he's going to retire, which I believe he does. I believe his time of being great is done. He's still better than some of the average quarterbacks we got in today's game. But to considering the fact all the drama that's going to come with him, his weekly shows on the Pat McAfee show, running his mouth, blaming people, and not taking accountability, why would you want that on your team? As an organization, you have to ask yourself that. Is this guy really worth the trouble? Are we really going to win with him? Because like I told y'all, he's an old quarterback. He's not the old Aaron Rodgers. He's just an old quarterback. And like I tell you, wherever Aaron Rodgers goes, it's M-E-S-S, mess. It was a mess at the end of his tenure with the Packers. It was a mess with the Jets. And wherever team he does go to, I promise you it's going to be a mess. So let me know what y'all think. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn over notifications. Let me know if this is a good move for Aaron Rodgers, that the fact that Jets let his own go, or whatever team that you want Aaron Rodgers to go see. Let me know in the comment section. Y'all be smooth. I'll catch y'all in the next video.